It's been so long since we've done a good old unboxing, and this one is a special one. When I did my 30-day Game Boy Advance challenge last year, I talked a lot about my cousin and how he was a big part of my gaming when growing up. I experienced so many consoles for the first time from my cousin, because he was always getting the latest, most awesome consoles as soon as they came out, especially the latest and greatest Game Boys. And one of the stories from back then was how he sold me his Game Boy Advance for 20 quid, which I ended up swiftly selling on to pay for a night out. Now, I never told my cousin that I did that, so when he heard about it in the 30-day Game Boy Advance challenge video, it was the first time he'd heard it, and this was like 20 years later. Instantly he messaged me, he's like, "What did you do, dude? I can't believe you ever did that." I was like, "I know, I'm so sorry, I was such an idiot." But we got on to talking about his Game Boy collections, and the next day he ends up messaging me because he'd gone in his loft and he'd been rooting around and he found his old Game Boy Advance collection. Now, he was talking about getting rid of it and selling it, and I was like, whoa, hang on a second. You can't get rid of this. This is nostalgia. This is a part of our memories growing up. So you can't get rid of this, and if you are going to get rid of it, then it has to stay close by. There was no way I was going to let this leave the family, so I thought up a cunning plan. I knew he wanted a Retro Pocket 3 Plus, and I knew I wanted his Game Boy Advance collection, so I said to him, "I'll sort you out a Retro Pocket 3 Plus, and you give me the Game Boy Advance collection in return." And here we go. This is it. This is the Game Boy Advance collection that my cousin had from being a kid. The Game Boy Advance collection that first introduced me to the world of Game Boy Advance. And for me, this box holds so much nostalgia, and I cannot wait to jump in here and see what we've got. Right, trusty penknife, let's get in there. You can smell that stinky cheese? What the hell, dude? Nah, it's the smell of nostalgia, man. Straight on in there, right? Funny story, my cousin told me he spent ages cutting up all these tiny little pieces to make sure it was packaged wonderfully, and it's a pretty damn good job. Check this out, guys. He's done pretty good there. I don't want everything to come crashing out just yet, but get a little sneak peek as to what's in there right now. Pretty good packaging, dude. Well done, mate. Thank you. First off, Kirby's Dream Land. Check it out. Now, I absolutely love the Kirby games, and I think the first time I ever played it was on my cousin's Game Boy, so happy days. Next up, we've got Tetris DX. Now, this one, I don't think I have played, so I'll be looking forward to trying that out. And these are in fantastic condition, man. Like, my cousin always looked after his stuff, but to see it so many years after, I don't know if you can quite make that out, but to see it so many years after, so well looked after, I'm really impressed, dude. And these are going to fit nicely in the collection. Bust a Move 4. Awesome game. Absolutely love it. Next up, we've got the classic Super Mario Land. Now, I already have this 2 times in the collection, but this one's going to take pride of place. Part of the original collection, guys. We've got some cables here as well. What have we got from the cables? Oh, nice. We've got a proper Game Boy Advance charger. Now, I got mine for my Game Boy Advance off eBay, so I've got one of the USB ones, so it's nice to have a proper official charger in there as well. It's wonderful. It's like a little lucky dip this. You remember when you were a kid and you put your hand in, lucky dip, see what you get? It feels just like that, and I can see corners of carts, but I don't know what's coming. Next up, we're sticking with Game Boy for now. Monopoly, awesome. I absolutely love Monopoly, the board game. And I've never played it. I remember seeing this actually when I was a kid. I wanted to get it for the Game Boy, but never ended up getting around to it. And you know what's really nice? I thought when I was going to be opening this box, it was going to be like loads of games. I just expected to see games I already knew, but turns out there was so much in this collection that I didn't even play. So that's going to be fun to check out those. Paperboy 2. Oh my God, I love the Paperboy games. I think I remember he got this because he'd played Paperboy on my Game Boy, so I think he ended up getting Paperboy 2 for his. Oh, classic. Oh, and it's a double whammy here. We've got 2 of them. Pokemon, baby. Pokemon Red. And Pokemon, the first time I ever played a Pokemon game was on my cousin's Game Boy. And I still remember to this day talking to him about it. And I was like, I think I must have been about 16 at the time. He must have been about 10. And I was saying to him, like, should I get Pokemon? Like, is it that good a game? And he's like, it's amazing. It's like the best game ever. And I still remember to this day playing it for the first time on his console. Now, I'm pretty sure, and I've chatted with him, I'm pretty sure he had Pokemon Blue. So how he's ended up with 2 Pokemon Reds, I'm not too sure. I think it involves some funny story about a kid in his class trying to con him out of his blue, so he ended up with 2 reds. But maybe you can leave a comment below and let us know what happened, mate. I think we're moving on up a generation now, and I can feel, yes, a Game Boy Color game, Worms Armageddon. Now, again, I'm pretty sure he got Worms Armageddon after playing Worms 2 with me on the PC. I remember we used to play that game so much, we were addicted. And he got so good at it that me and my mates used to play quite a lot. He got so good at it. And my cousin was one of those guys that always just ended up getting really good at video games. It was so annoying. I still remember he'd always beat me on Tekken 3, was it? No matter what character I'd get, he'd always get this stupid dinosaur that would fart, and he'd kill me with farts. And then when I'd try and do it with the dinosaur, he'd still whoop me anyway. But yeah, I remember my mate came over and we were all playing Worms 2, and my cousin, who's like 6 years younger than us, just annihilated him, and my mate got really annoyed. So I'm pretty sure that this game must have come off the back of playing Worms 2 round at mine. Moving on. Oh, we have got another Game Boy game here, and the Game & Watch Gallery 2. Nice. That is a nice addition. Excellent. I didn't know you had this one, dude. This one's a real nice surprise. I can't wait to try this one out. What can we find next? What can we find next? Oh, legendary Advance Wars. Now, I do have Advance Wars, but again, anything in here that I've already got, this is going to become the definitive version for the Chronic Spartan collection. Because this carries so much more meaning, so much more nostalgia. But I remember on Christmas morning, my cousin getting, I think he got his Game Boy Advance on the Christmas morning, and I remember him getting Advance Wars, and I remember thinking, what is that? That's a weird game. I thought it was like just some caching game, like trying to use the name Advance. Little did I know how awesome this game is, and I remember my cousin being psyched with this, like being so excited and being so addicted to it. And years ago, when I finally got my hands on my own copy, I fully understood what that was all about. Little coffee break. Nice. Carrying on. And we have Super Mario Advance. I have not got this one in the collection, so that'll be a nice addition. Didn't realize you had that one as well. Next up, here it is, guys. Here's the game that was from the 30-day Game Boy Advance Challenge story. The one that I talked about being in Greece and playing with my cousin and my brother-in-law. Doom. Like, this game, this cart right here carries so much nostalgia for me. I still remember playing it on his, I think it was a transparent purple Game Boy Advance at the time, the original form factor one. I still remember playing on it and trying to catch the light because that didn't have the backlight screen. I'm pretty sure that's the same Game Boy he sold me and then I sold on. So bittersweet there, because unfortunately if I'd kept that, I would have had that full piece of the story. But to have Doom, the original cart, the game that I played on the Game Boy Advance, that finally made me realize how powerful these consoles are and the potential of them. The game from the story, guys, this is the one. Doom. I'm so psyched to have that. Next up, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. That one's seen better days. Now, I don't think I've ever played a Harry Potter game. I might make this one the first one that I played. You'll have to let me know, mate. Is this a good game? Is this one worth playing? But either way, another piece of the story, another piece of the nostalgia that all of this represents. Moving on, and we have Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. Nice, haven't got this one either. I played Star Wars Flight of the Falcon in the 30-day Game Boy Advance Challenge, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't play it too much, too many good games to play at the time, but I really enjoyed that, so it'll be nice to try out this as well. And I think Episode 2, I really enjoyed that film. I don't know what other people think. I don't know, tell me guys, what do you reckon? Is it good? Good film or not? And we have Sonic Advance 2. Excellent. So many games that I don't have in my collection, and it's so nice now that these aren't just games that are nostalgic for me that I maybe already have copies of. These are games that I don't have in the collection either, so it's really nice to be able to bulk out the collection with so many awesome games, man. F-Zero Maximum Velocity. Now this is a game I was looking at and thinking about buying to play in the 30-day Game Boy Advance challenge, but I didn't end up doing it because already it was costing a lot of money with the games I was buying, so that's awesome. So nice to be able to have this in the collection, especially considering it's one I've recently been looking at getting. Happy days, man, happy days. Moving on. Another one I was thinking about getting for the Game Boy Advance collection, and that is Street Fighter Alpha 3. I was looking through all the different Street Fighter games. I was thinking, I was pretty certain I needed a Street Fighter game for the challenge, and Street Fighter Alpha 3 was the one that I ended up focusing on. But like I said, I didn't end up buying any of those games because I'd already spent so much on Boktai and Golden Sun as well. I couldn't afford to buy any more games. So to actually get these now, just a few months after, that is awesome. That is epic. Donkey Kong Country, absolutely classic game. Really enjoyed this. Love it on the Game Boy Advance as well. It's a really good version of it. And yet another game that I don't already have in the collection. Moving on, I think, is this the last game? This might be the last game. Let me feel around. The last game, but certainly not the least. And we have Pokemon Ruby. Love it. Absolutely brilliant condition as well. The sticker on this is still so clean. There's like hardly any marks on it whatsoever. Now I already have Pokemon Ruby in the collection because those who follow the channel know that I ended up completing over there the full Game Boy, the full mainline Pokemon collection. So I've already got Ruby, but this is the one now. This is the one that's going to go on that shelf over there. Part of that nostalgic collection, those nostalgic vibes right here, guys, literally in my hands. Moving on, this is something I remember vividly as a kid when I went round to my cousin's and he was obsessed with this thing, and at the time I was like, what on earth, dude? Like, I couldn't even believe that this existed. And I just remember him walking around everywhere snapping pictures with his Game Boy camera. That is so amazing. He had the little printer, the paper and everything. Oh my god, I remember this so vividly. That is so cool, man. This is the first time I've ever owned a Game Boy camera. I'm gonna have to take some selfies with this, man. I'm kind of speechless with this one. Like, just thinking back now, like the memories of being kids, and like I say, every time I'd go around my cousins and we'd play so many video games, and like every time it was Christmas, I was like so excited for my presents, but I was also thinking, what's my cousin got? Like, what latest console has he got? What can we play with now? And yeah, man, this brings it all back. This really brings it all back. That is so cool. Awesome. Love it. And last but certainly not least, and you know what, this is a proper surprise, this, because there's something about this that I totally forgot, and now that I see it, it brings back all those memories. It's his Game Boy Advance SP. Now obviously this is the one he ended up buying, which was why he then sold me his original Game Boy Advance, because he had the SP instead. But there's something on this, I'm going to turn it around now, there's something on this that as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I totally couldn't remember that. I can't believe like how awesome that is. The nostalgia rush of just seeing, it's going to mean nothing to you guys, I'll explain it, but of seeing the K&N sticker, the silver K&N sticker on the front there, and it actually looks really good, doesn't it? It actually fits the console really well. So my mum worked at K&N, the air filter company, and she used to always get loads of stickers. Like we had, like, I used to put them on my car at the time, and she came home one day with loads of these silver ones. Like K&N's normally like black, red and orange, and she came with these silver ones, and like me and my cousin, we just got loads of them and we were sticking them everywhere. And I remember him sticking it on this, and we were like, dude, that looks so cool, man. Like, you've got a custom K&N Game Boy Advance. Like, I totally forgot about it, and here it is right now. Check it out, guys. It's original Game Boy Advance SP. Let's see, is it power on still, or we need to put some oh, it powers on. Check it out. Happy days, happy days. Now, what are we going to stick in? My instinct tells me to put Pokemon Ruby in, but it's got to be Doom, hasn't it, guys? Let's stick Doom in there. Here's the nostalgia rush. Oh my god, that is so cool. Check it out, working perfectly. Like I said, he always looked after his stuff so well, and it's so good to see it looked after still after so many years. What we're talking, must be like 24 years, 25 years. That is madness, right? I'm out of here. I'm about to play this stuff, man. I'm about to dive into this world of nostalgia right now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more like it, don't forget to subscribe and check out this awesome episode right here. Bro, thank you so much for this.